Okay, it is 9:49 a.m. I did not trade ILUS, but I did have a verified cancel order at 9:39, which was way back here 9:39, and I was not filled at 1865. Right here, 1865, 9:39. Actually, this candle right here, I just did not get filled, and that's totally fine. It kind of had a baby uptrend, a downtrend, and then it started to look kind of sketchy. I threw a trend line, it followed it, but this whole thing was just sketchy. It just felt more sketchy than usual. So even if I were to have taken a trade, in which I could have done it at 18.9, I only had 500 shares in theory to buy because it just felt that weird, which would have been a tiny, in theory, $5 risk level if I were to be in, let's say, right here at 9:47. But instead of an uptrend towards VWAP, it breaks the day low, and then I don't get out at 18.5 because I'm not able to, and then worst case I'm out at 18. That's basically how I get a $5 loss, or at least a $5 risk level if it just goes back to 18. So I had a trade here with PUGE. I kind of regret trading so small, but this one was super impressive. I'm sorry to anybody who might have lost money on PUGE. The thing opened up down like 60% on the day. I'm not trying to be a shill, but if you were to buy, they're kind of expensive, but not 50% of your portfolio. Just 1 month of penny stock in silver with Tim Sykes. You could learn so much about OTC, runners, promotions, and it would just save you from losing that much money. But this was a gap down, and I was super interested in it because of how much how down it was. It reminds me of let me see if I can find the chart of it, but it's very similar to, it was I might not have it because it was on the day I didn't trade it. It was, yeah, well, it wasn't the day here, but you know, NSAV was very similar in that it had a really bad down day, and then it opened super low, and it just ran so much in terms of percentage. It's kind of similar to PUGE in that, you know, it had like a big 60+% drop. And when I saw this, I knew what this could be, what it could offer. I traded way too small. I did not get filled at 9:31, which was this candle right here at 15. I didn't get filled, and then I tried again. I did get filled the same minute actually later, but you know, I got in at 17, which wasn't ideal. I just regret that. You know, I made like $2.50. I think $2.49. I'm not sure, but I didn't make very much because of how small I traded. 25,000 shares at, you know, 17 is a $40 position. I didn't really have it calculated perfectly, but my theory was that, you know, maybe I'm in at 15, which was my original price that I was trying to get in at 9:31, and then maybe it goes all the way back to 11 and I sell at 10. So 15 sub penny, which is super sketchy, you know, in terms of price, to 10. 37 becomes 25, so that's like a $12, you know, loss. So basically a $10 risk level. But you know, I've been trading $10 risk levels on morning panic balance place, and a lot of them make sense to just trade $10, but I have it up to $30. This is one where I should have traded at least a $20 risk level, which would have meant that I would have traded 50,000 shares, right? Because for example, I'm in that 15 right here at 9:31. In worst case scenario, which is unlikely when it has a gap down this massive, although it could totally do it, you know, you're in at 15, it goes all the way in and then breaks 11 and you sell at 10, right? Which would be a lot in terms of percentage, and then that would bring that 75 into 50. So that would have been a $25 risk level, truly calculated, but in theory it rounds off to 20 more often than not. And so yeah, I was in 9:31, 17, which wasn't ideal. Let me get rid of these canceled orders. 17, maybe 17 and a half, but I don't know. I'm not extremely sure. And I sold the next minute 932 at 18 because it just started to look a little sketchy for me. It was just too rich for my blood, honestly. 17 was at, when I placed the order, 17 was at the ask and 16 was at the bid. And then it transitioned from 17 at the bid to 18 at the ask, and I got filled while my order was sitting at the bid. And then, it uptrended a little more. Then now 18 was at the bid and 19 was at the ask at 932. Right, you can see 19 at the ask, 17 was at the bid at some point when it transitioned, probably in 18, right there in the middle. It looks like it was going to run out of momentum, and that was a bit scary. And the level 2 was looking like it was going to break 18 and go back to 17. The 18, 17 at the bid, 18 at the ask, instead of 18 at the bid and 19 at the ask. It looked like it was going to downtrend, so I got out. If I knew I had more, not more, but if I knew I had so little shares, I probably would have maybe considered holding. Or maybe selling half of my position, or maybe like 10,000 shares or 15,000 shares. But the thing got to 21, which is nice, and at the bid 20. So I sold at 18. In theory I could have sold at 20, which would have been, it doesn't seem like much, like, oh, you sold at 18 not at 20, but that's 10% the difference. Because it's a sub penny and it's priced so low, every little tick in any direction matters a lot. And it did do a dip towards VWAP. Maybe I could have traded this, but I don't know, it seems kind of iffy. I would normally like morning panic bounce play to downtrend under VWAP and then turn around, but yeah, this one was just crazy. So I hope next time I can trade this thing better and more profitably, and my voice doesn't freaking crack up because I'm still kind of sick. But yeah, that was a pretty cool one. I know I traded this better than I have in the past. In the past, I wouldn't even trade this. I wouldn't even put money into this because I'd be too scared. But at least I got in, even though it was just a small amount. It still offered a move, and that was pretty impressive. And yeah, I hope I can get another one of these in the future. To try again and trade with more size and ideally be much more profitable. Would have been super nice if I did get in at 15, because at 15 to 18, that's like a 20% gain, and that would have been pretty impressive even with a small size. It looks like it's trying to break 21, which would be interesting if it could do that. Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing ends up at 30. I don't think it will, but it's not out of the possibility, because that's what a lot of these do when they have such a massive gap down. They just uptrend the entire day. But I took what was my trade. I can just sit back and watch and learn from the price action, and again be ready for the next one in the future. That will happen at some point. When, I don't know, but eventually. This was pretty impressive. And I also was looking at MDMP. This one had 2 green days, so it wasn't a perfect candidate for a morning panic bounce play to me because it was only up 2 days. Although they were nice, it was 2 days, not 3 days, which is my minimum. And there was a point where maybe I could have traded it, maybe right here when the ask was 1027, but this thing dried up in terms of volume, started to get kind of weird with the spread, and I think I was also looking at ILUS instead, so I never traded it, but that one was a possibility. MDMP, not a perfect candidate again, but it still offered something. ILUS seems like it just got to VWAP and that was it. Yeah, I don't know, it just feels kind of weird the way it's trading today. Like, it actually wants to keep downtrending, which it can do because it's honestly at a free fall section. It's not any like level of support really. Maybe this level right here, right? But this thing could downtrend more, but I'm just gonna let it be. It can do whatever it wants, honestly. And yeah, I'll make an update later. Alright, it is 10:09 a.m. Maybe I made $5 from this trade, but look, these things are just so rich. Maybe with more experience I can get better. But right now it's 22 by 23, and I was in at 21 at the bid. Again, my order was at the bid, and it got filled at 10:06. So in theory, I saw this thing potentially trying to break the day high, which is 21. And my idea was, all right, let me try to get it right when it breaks 21. Wow, it's at 24 at the ask, but right here, when was I in exactly? 10:06. Yeah, I was in at 10:06. My idea was, let me get in right before it breaks it, like right before, like when the ask is so small, like just one buy can just wipe it out and it transitions. So in theory, let's just say there was only one seller here at 23, and it looks like there's a whole stack of bidders at 22. Just one buy and it just takes it out and it transitions to the next level. I wanted to be in right in that transition. I was a bit slow, it just happened. So my order sat at the bid, and then I got filled, which was nice, and that was at 10:06, maybe 10:07. Fidelity tends to be kind of early. It kind of records when you place the order, not necessarily when it got filled. And I might have gotten in, actually, yeah, 10:06 right here. This was, okay, 10:05, 10:06. I think I got in at maybe 10:07, like in the very beginning of 10:07. And I sold, alright, well, at least I held for longer than a minute, right? 10:08 right here. I sold at 22, which was the bid. It did get to 23 at the ask. It seems like it's not doing much more. I'm not sure if it got to 24 like executed. It doesn't seem like there were any prints at 24, although I think at one point in this recording 24 was at the ask. And yeah, that was it. It was basically in and out 21 to 22, which is a nice, like, that's like 4.7% or something like that. That's a nice percent gain. It's just sketchy playing them at such low prices, because, you know, just two little pieces, 20 to 18, you're like, all right, too bad, 20 to 18, but you know, that's 10%. So yeah, I traded 50,000 shares. I was in again around this level. I would have gotten out if it were to have broken 21 and it gets to 22, and then it goes back to 21 and then back to 20. I would have gotten out, so I would have been in at 21 and out at 20, and I would have lost I guess like $5. I'm not extremely sure. I guess very similar to what I made, but this is a setup that I thought had potential, and it still can. It could try to put up a higher low at some point, but I just traded this very conservatively, just because it's very sketchy, because it's such a low price to sub penny. I'll make an update later, but that was a second trade here with PUGE. Alright, it is 6:37 and I am up on the day. It seems like $7.48 trading PUGE with a very small size. I should have went larger maybe, but I was just worried because it's such a low priced, you know, stock. For me to have been in at 15 and then it gets to 11 and get out at 10 is actually a big difference. But I don't know, maybe I should just be less scared. But I'm very happy that I was able to trade one of these, and I feel like I did this a lot better than the last time. There was a significant gap down, morning panic bounce play, and then I did go for that breakout attempt at 10:06, which did not really play out. It did uptrend, but excuse me, it didn't, you know, get much higher. But this was impressive. It will be something I'll watch tomorrow. Maybe it can continue the uptrend, or maybe it's just so bad that it won't do anything. But yeah, that was the idea there with PUGE. That was really about it. I didn't trade anything else. IOUS did downtrend even lower, and then it finally did turn around. But yeah, the way this one does it is ugly, so I didn't give it any money. Nothing with the other ones. That was really about it for today. I'm going to make it short and simple. I'm happy to have gotten some experience there, and hopefully maybe next time in the future when something like that happens again, I can be able to trade a lot better and be much more profitable with more size.